Welcome back to Mail Call. You know, not too long ago, I was at Camp Coyote in southern Iraq showing you all how Mail Call works in the desert battlefield. Well, Nick in New York City wants some equal time for Mail Call on our ships in the Persian Gulf. Okay, Nick, don't get your skivvies in a knot. I got the lowdown right here on a Navy outfit known as the Desert Ducks. The Desert Ducks are the only permanent forward-deployed Navy helicopter squadron in the Persian Gulf. They're kind of like the FedEx of the fleet, moving packages, people and equipment to where they're needed in a hurry. They were originally formed in 1948 as helicopter utility squadrons 1 and 2 called the Fleet Angels. They were the Navy's first operational helicopter squadron. Back in 1987, the Fleet Angels expanded into the Persian Gulf and the Desert Ducks were born. During Desert Storm, the Ducks earned their combat wings and became the Navy's top-notch helicopter support squadron. The H-3 Sea King and the executive transport version of the Sea King, designated the VH-3A, may be the most versatile helos in the military. These babies are tough. The Sea King is even able to land in the water if she has to. That's because of her boat-shaped bottom. And everyone loves a good bottom.
The aircraft that we're flying is, for the most part, an analog aircraft. We have completely redundant systems, and it's nice to be able to actually look at gauges. You go into the new aircraft and see the glass cockpits. Power goes out, it gets mighty dark.
Developed in the late 50s and first flown on March 11, 1959, the Sea King was a pioneer. She set all kinds of distance and endurance records, including a 15-hour cross-country flight from a carrier off of San Diego to a carrier off the coast of Florida. The Sea King was also the first helicopter to fly faster than 200 miles per hour. Home for the Desert Ducks is the Coalition Military Air Station in Manamas, Bahrain. Since the Ducks can find themselves hauling just about anything the fleet needs, everything that goes on the chopper gets weighed. This determines how much fuel is needed, how far they can fly, and how fast.
We've taken a lot of blood for the USNS Comfort during the war. A lot of casualty repair items. Sometimes the ship can't, say for instance, launch a missile if there's a repair part that they need, and that's how the CAS reps and then we'll bring it out to them. Everything that they request that's a mission critical item we bring out, and the Desert Ducks take it out daily.
When sailors arrive in the Gulf to join their new shipmates, the first stop is Desert Duck Airlines. After a brief yet thorough training session, it's time to head out to the aircraft. The flight line is noisy and dangerous, so the only safe place to walk is right behind the crew chief. Then it's time to strap in between the repair parts and care packages. And that's what the crews really dig about the Ducks. Mail Call. Tuesdays and Thursdays are mail delivery days.
It's definitely a morale boost. You need a mail, especially during wartime. There were over 1 million pounds of mail here at one point, and they're trying to get as much as they can out between that, the mission critical items, and the passengers they take to and from the ship.
Our allies in the Gulf also benefit from the goodwill of the Ducks. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, British, Polish, and Australian ships all had a visit from the Ducks. But not all the ships in the Persian Gulf can land a helicopter the size of a Sea King. That's when it's time for the hoist. While the pilot hovers over the fantail of the ship, the crew chief prepares the sling. Once the straps are secure, you sit down on the edge of the door with 50 feet of empty space below your feet. Then push off into the hurricane winds coming off the rotors 10 feet above your head. And since these ducks can't fly without a chopper, the hoist brings them right back up when they're done. In these days of email, there is still nothing like the real thing. The little goodies from home are what makes life bearable when you're deployed. And no one can deliver the goods like the Desert Ducks. The steel kind.